You're watching We Talk Minute, and I'm your host CJ. Welcome back. It is another album ranking, number 81 in the series. Yeah, can't believe it's number 81 already, but I thought I would go with the mighty Obituary, one of the best death metal bands of all time, and one of my favorites, and one of the bands that got me into death metal. So it's going to be quite fun. You're going to see which albums I prefer, which ones I don't. Spoiler alert: no bad albums, of course. Don't really think Obituary has any bad releases. But yeah, they have 11 studio albums, plus their brand new album that I reviewed last time on the channel. That was my last video, but yeah, let's get into it. Enough rambling, enough messing around. Number 11 is one that most people would expect to be right here, World Demise from 1994. One of their ones before they broke up in 1997 or 1999. Yeah. They while not being as good as the first three albums, World Demise is still a good album. While not being one that I go back to often, it's enjoyable for what it is. Groove metal, death metal mix. Another complaint I have about this album is how not memorable the songs are. I really don't remember anything from this, but the only one I can remember really good is the title track, World Demise, because, yeah, it's my favorite song on the album. And for these reasons, I have it at number 11 on the list. So, yeah, that's why it's here at number 11. If you can't tell, I do notes for these now because, yeah, it's better quality when I do. Uh, Number 10, Back from the Dead, or the follow-up from World Demise, with a 9.2. Last one was 9 out of 10. So still pretty good. Still like these albums. So this album, if you don't know what this one is, Back from the Dead album has some of the same issues of World Demise. The memorability of the songs on it are not there, honestly. Can't really remember much from it. Back from the Dead is probably the most memorable one from the record. Most of the songs are just there and don't stand out to me. Don't get me wrong, the album is enjoyable, is better than World Demise in my opinion, but the nagging thing is the weakness of the guitar tone. It has the same problems as World Painted Blood by Slayer. If you have watched this channel before, watch that ranking. Yeah. Uh, yeah. The guitar tone is off. The only thing that makes this album better than World Demise is the songs, because World Demise overall has the worst song selection for the Obituary. The best song is the title track, of course, Back from the Dead, like I said before. Love that song, actually, really do. Yeah. Number 9. Let's scroll up for number 9. Executioner's Return, or the one of the ones that everybody forgets that they released because, well, it's hard as all fuck to find, and it is not on any streaming platforms. Yeah. Don't know why, but yeah, whatever. The first 10 out of 10, 9 and above, or 10 out of 10s. I don't see what other people dislike about this album. People say that this one is the worst album that they've ever done, and well, I disagree. There's two that I have lower than this. Executioner's Return lacks in the standout part, but it is a perfect album nonetheless. The album and follow-up seem to be forgotten by most and think that the reason has to be the lack of streaming ability and reissues getting a hold of this album is a fucking bitch, honestly. Definitely. Just an absolute fucking bitch. Just like the one that was released after this, Darkest Day. Definitely think this one is worth trying to track down. Yeah. But good luck. Good luck tracking this one down, because it is an absolute... Favorite song from Executioner's Return is Drop Dead, because, well, there's not a whole lot of standouts on this album, but it's still like a Obituary record. It still does everything that you'd want from an Obituary record. It's not like some mix of like groove metal or have some weird stuff on it. It's basically an Obituary record. Number 8 is the self-title from 2017. Still 10 out of 10, and yeah, this is a signed copy. I got it when I seen them live, but this album is a really good album, but isn't as good as the ones above it. It's kind of like the middle of the road incident here. Like, yeah, if this was any other band type shit, like, oh, if this was another band, this one would be number one. But yeah, it's Obituary. They have some old classic albums. They have some other ones that I really like, but the middle of the road Obituary album that has some really big standouts, like 10,000 Ways to Die. They did an EP. I also have that on EP, but it's not on this list because it's an EP. Other songs are just through the motions, but still are enjoyable. Honestly, some of the other ones that are on here are like just through the motions Obituary, but they have some good ones like Brave and Sentence Day. Sentence Day is my favorite on this album. I recommend giving that one a listen. It is really hard hitting, and it'll give you everything you want from an Obituary song. But yeah, I'm gonna put these here. Number 7 is the one right before it, Inked in Blood. Yeah, same problems, same thing. Inked in Blood is a very strong album with a beast of a guitar tone throughout. There's a lots of good standout songs and good prominent riffs. Overall, a brutal experience. I don't get why people dislike this album. I see people all the time having this one at the bottom or saying this is the worst album. It's their list, it's their opinion. They can have that opinion, but I just don't see it, honestly. My favorite song from Inked in Blood is Violent by Nature, and this album is kind of violent by nature. It has a lot of prominent heavy riffs to it and just intensity. And yeah, it's not like the really doomy stuff. It's more like the hard hitting fast Obituary that they started doing like in the modern age. On an album that is to come and to mention. Number 6 is going to be Frozen in Time, or the album that they returned with in 2005 after after having that long breakup period from Back from the Dead. It was very hard deciding between Frozen in Time and the one above it. Yeah, this Frozen in Time and the one above it was like really like it was almost a tie, but I was like I don't like to do ties, but if I have to, I have to. And yeah, I didn't have to in this occasion, and I'm pretty happy about it. This was their first album after Obituary broke up, and then Back from the Dead. Yeah, after Back from the Dead. And then they came back in a big way with this one. A big, huge return. This is a very good album. It's one of their best albums, like anywhere from 9 and above, or like perfect. Lots of quality standout songs and big moments packed into Frozen in Time. Overall, a perfect album. My favorite song in this one, Back Inside. I've loved this song for years. And yeah, this is one of the ones I've listened to a shit ton of times. And yeah, it's the one that, like, some of the ones I went through high school with. So it's like, I have more connection to those. Except the few that are higher up on the list, but yeah. Number 5 is actually controversial to have this low, which is Incomplete. The Incomplete from 1992 or 1992. While not as good as the first 2 albums, the slow, doomy pace and disgusting vocals make this album stand out as one of the best Obituary releases. The doomy pace moves like a slow-moving steamroller. And also, the album's technical solos are on another fucking level, honestly. Favorite song on the Incomplete is Dead Silence. I'm in Pain as well as a good one. The Incomplete, Rotting Ways, Killing Time. There's a lot of good ones on here, but I just there's a lot of there's like 4 albums that I consider like better than this. So yeah, come at me in the comments section. I'm ready. I'm ready for it because I know I did some controversy. Number number 4 is Slowly We Rot, another controversial one. Sorry, but yeah, another controversial one. An absolute legendary album, the genre of death metal, and one of the earliest, but don't let all the credit come from that, as it's truly one of Obituary's premier albums. One of the ones that get people into death metal. Honestly, it's one of the like. This album was also done in standard guitar tuning. Like, that's another kind of weird thing with this album is like it sounds quite similar to the other albums, but is in standard guitar tuning, which, if you know, standard guitar tuning is really not that heavy. But Obituary, with their like fuzz tone or whatever they do with the fuzz guitars, or yeah, made it heavy, got it to be heavy. And to think their first album is where they found their sound, this is where I say they found their sound. Album established the classic Obituary vocal guitar tone. My favorite song in this album is the title track. Honestly, Slowly We Rot is one of the best songs that they ever wrote. And yeah, it's like the big song they played when I seen them live, so that's another plus. Number 3, no surprise by how I reviewed this on my channel last time, the brand new album, Dying of Everything. Number 3, I will not go into much detail as I have a full review up on the channel for this album. With that said, has the old school Obituary sound and the newer sound all in one. It's basically the best of both types of Obituary releases. So yeah, that's basically all I got for that one, because like I already had a video on it. But number 2 is one of the most controversial ones to have this high, which is Darkest Day from 2009. I know a lot of people don't like this album. A lot of people just don't even know it exists because it's not on any fucking streaming platforms. Please, please fix that. The musicianship has taken to 100 on this album with ripping guitar solos, destructive death growls, and hard-hitting riffs. And that's all the way throughout the record. It's a shame most people don't realize this album exists in Obituary's discography, as it's not on streaming services, and it's hard to find it on physical media. I don't even have a copy of it. I've tried looking for this one. I've tried searching eBay for this one, and it's always out of my price range. And yeah, I'm usually good at finding the rarest CDs of a band, but found Tear, Black Sabbath, Headless Cross, Black Sabbath, a lot of other stuff from, but this is yet one that I have not found, and it's yeah. Favorite song on this album is Payback. It's an absolute ripping track. It's fucking amazing. Just yeah, if you've not checked out Darkest Day yet, or yeah, give it another listen, because there's a lot to be heard on that album. It's like really intense. And number 1, of course, is 1990's Cause of Death. Because why not? Why would this album not be number 1 for me? This album right here, Cause of Death, one of the best death metal albums of all time. And has the best Obituary song, in my opinion, on it, which is, yeah, it'll come later. But this album has always been my favorite Obituary album. I love every single second of the album, every song. Cause of Death is packed with brutality and legendary songs like Chopped in Half and Cause of Death. Other song, the cover of Circle the Tyrants by Celtic Frost is also on here. Memories Remain, Turned Inside Out. There's some absolute fucking bangers on this album. It is the start of Obituary using D tuning, and yes, it's the one that switched from E to D tuning. And it shows because the sound of this album is like no other. They never can replicate this like exact guitar tone on any other album. Obituary can never release another album better than this one, honestly. If they release another one next year and it ends up at number, it's going to end up 2 or below, because like this album is unmatched. It's one of my favorite albums of all time, honestly. My favorite song Obituary ever wrote is Body Bag. That opening riff just fucking hangs and just fucking amazing. Like, I could listen to this song on repeat over and over and over and over and just never get tired of it. So, yeah. That's how I rank Obituary. Hope everyone liked it. These videos do take a very long time to, and especially when I'm now doing scripts for these ranking videos, to kind of improve the quality of them and not just ramble on for 20 minutes. Kind of like have a coherent, So, yeah. I'll see everyone in the next video.